DBC Gaming, and welcome back to a brand new video today. Today, I am here with another video with Hayden. He's just here watching. Obviously, you can't hear it much because I have the headphones on. But this is Tiny Bunny. Now, this is a horror game, but it's also kind of like in a Christmas setting. So I was like, why don't I do this for a video? So here we are today. This game is not finished. There's going to be a bunch of chapters. And this is the first one in what they have so far. So, I got the creepy setting all set up. The wind crawled at my window all night long. I wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. That sounds so creepy. An endless song waved from the shorts of the voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twinkled in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. It's creepy. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that seemed a lot in its days and was serum. I can't fucking read. Seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. Yeah, I know, I can't. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with the hollow eyes. Jesus. Wrestling, whistling, swaying back and forth. I can't fucking speak. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy and shoutless, swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Oh, we're actually gonna get to the game now. Oh, was that a fox? Did you see? What the fuck? Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. What the fuck? Reading bad for your health? That's fairly interesting. And didn't I tell this to talk? I guess not. Hide? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have to... Okay. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. Thank you. Thank you. I was stuck on the line. I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyways. That's me. What the fuck kind of name is that? Olia. Olia. Oya. 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 Oh, how are we gonna say that? Olia. Olia? I don't know how to say that.
Olia?
Olia. I don't know. Olia. We'll call her Olia. Olia. Olia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so... I can't fucking read that. Enthusiastic. She almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. Well, that's not good to say about your fucking sister. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Ew, porridge for breakfast? What the fuck? Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night and the black forest around the house and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the cooler the lumpy white substance became. Oh, okay. It looked like a jellyfish from the House Stool Odyssey. I love that sound. Why is it just makes it harder that the typing is white.
Yeah.
I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or how cold the Black Forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes.
They look gray to me.
What did you just say? What did I just say? Fuck! I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? I don't know. So, Karina. That's how it says, Karina. Karpanaha. Look at it. Karpana. I guess she carved it out when something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar though. Should I remind her about it? Nah, she's been in a bit bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was my mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? Why is the forest thick? Oh, God! I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed while Oya sleeps nowadays, and saying this is her soft, smooth voice. Tanga. Tigana. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. I almost said breast. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it will grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. There were times without the maddened screams until late at night. Would smash dishes on mutual occasions. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already brought a casket. And she called it her cute funeral box. Okay, that's something to say about it. I waited for it. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered, with colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Oya was done with her cookies. Done with her cookies, and was looking at my share like a shy woodland critter. I turned my gaze towards the frosty window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. Yup. Oh yeah, it looks like a fox. Where? It looked almost like their optical illusions. Thingies they put on the back of a student notebook. You'd put that on the back of a student notebook? A mixture of lines at the first glance. But if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle, not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's its... Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. There it is, but it still doesn't look like one. And I'm yelling it does. And I'm telling you it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it, these kids, I swear. No, I couldn't see the foxy either. It disappeared. Nah, me neither. Went away. Only the frosty pattern similar to stretched out nestle leaves kept creeping up on the glass. Up the glass. Oh, hello, creepy man. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to hide a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask, jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Oi always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded and deadliest word that started with a D. Dick! What was that came out of my nose? I don't know. What word starts with a D?
Divorce.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. Devo. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an hour on my window. You and your owl talk again. You said you'd believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket, near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl! But there was one. It has giant glowing eyes. Oya sprang up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating the pair of eyes with which her fingers, the size of an apple each. Last year you had a Bobby in your closet, and now it's this owl? But I saw it! Oya shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought of befriending it? Sorry, I couldn't see it. You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice. Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Oya poured her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase led to the second floor and creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh boy, that face! Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute has passed and the theme song from Little Mermaid echoed through the house. Oh, wow, it's really quiet now. It was stored on incredible worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already glued it together once. How do you glue a fucking cassette tape? How the fuck do you do that? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. It is easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? You don't. Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Stealing glances? Oh, God. Oya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved into this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under the blanket. Wait a minute, hold on, pause. Didn't they say this was their mother's house?
Table.
What?
It's the mother's table.
Yeah, but they were talking about the bedroom that her mother slept in. And now they just...
Grandmother?
No, the mother. The grandma would sit at the end of the bed. But now they're saying that there's a new house. That doesn't really make sense to me. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and would turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her take her mind off the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Fuck you, bitch! Fuck the fuck. And then Oya said she saw the giant flying monster outside her window. Why are your eyebrows doing that, bitch? She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power, then tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Oya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After the night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Are you fucking stupid? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep, and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of the new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was if someone completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. That does not look like silhouettes to me. The cruel glares filled with icy sneers made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloody shoes? Damn. The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what, I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Oya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. I can't fucking speak, bro. The small circle of friends. I also enjoyed my painting, and then promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've gotten the wrong number." Or, why can't I say that anymore? Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates would like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbors. Drill mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners of the closet, cobwebs and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Sometimes was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family was them ashen. I can't say that.
With their family ashen eyes.
Ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaky. Rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized it was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere in the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of the wind, of creaking old house, and my thoughts, too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that it was music and nothing more than a product of my own imagination. It's not like someone's playing it there. I'd missed the cold, snowy night, right? Okay, let's go to the window then. Someone was dancing in the field. Dancing? More like hopping. I don't know how you leap that far. Black Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basking in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolling around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to my mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands, and whispered up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Definitely don't see them holding hands. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in this starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music has stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the shadows immediately parted from the Blair Snow Carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Oh, fuck you. I glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until I was devoured by the pitch black snow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside a cage. I shook the curtains with a shift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torment of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest and escape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the organ, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front of the door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with the blanket, as if I could protect me. If it could protect me! The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of an old tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs. Oh, my grandma's casket. Hello. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her winkly eyeballs would once again move inside the sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure, and now lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I repeated the same words. On this island of beyond, underneath the blemished sun and sea of colors blue, stands a cabin made of wood. They lay lard, and ashen hair for the spawn of the devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leaves this house must, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. Oh God, it's really quiet now. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving like the hangman. And then the night dozed me with a new portion of boiling terror. And sound scratched out my eardrums. In reality, something or someone was scratching at the front door. Hurriedly crawling out, but demanding to be let in. God damn it! God, fuck! The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a security lock. Just to ashes. Dust to dust. Hello. That was glass breaking, by the way. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the night of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Fuck no! And turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no plans. The doorbell tilted once more, and then started trickling violently. My jaw my wet fingers clenched the blanket. The door creaked and opened, while the wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now, you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness within, correct? That's correct? Am I right? What? Writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of the doorway. Tony? It was as if the night itself was calling at me, flapping its black wings and sleeping in the crusty hinges. It was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my head, waiting for the one who waved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony? My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, are you asleep? Oh, you bitch! My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Oh yeah, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Oya frowned and snuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a moment ago crawled away and it hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Oya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Oya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me, but I was sure myself. I wasn't sure myself. I had an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video, Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have the scary bird? The question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes was dancing feverishly under the moon. The darkness was clinging to the window, and it could be flooded by Grandma's old chants. It could be satisfied with the feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Fuck you. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Oya and her owl in the morning. Bing bong! What could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. Ding dong! So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from the slight silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet? Under the table? Behind the curtains where Roya always hides? Tony, come here. I felt the cattle balls were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. It smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grin expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name, Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave this house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. That's right, your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window? No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwillingly under the weight of guilt, which the giant shadows cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and checked the cracks in the ceiling, which it hasn't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit, it's just a little daughter missing the city a lot. This is the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything's alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. At least I got the color right. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in the shaking voice, to look at the policeman, the polite boy, and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age. Wears this same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visits this summer. wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as it's a distant relative.
As if a distant relative.
And not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay home. Steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6. You have made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah, then I'll leave you my number, and just in case, call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and the photo of a smiling man. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and never forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. I look out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove. What? The police. What the fuck is that? UAZ drove off towards the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windows. I remembered the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I read this summer. Your average boys and girls invested all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints they had led into the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start investigating on my own? That is not a good idea. That is a very terrible idea. Very, very terrible. Maybe I'll find the lost boy. That lost boy. I don't think you will. And I'll get a reward. Or would be so happy. And not only Oya, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they even forgot about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from that D word. Dick! I fantasized about buying Oya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself, and a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents brought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There was an annoying song about it. I had a little to no idea what the accountant's job's like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely have money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Oya. Sometimes I gave her mine to share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the policeman to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals? Or something even worse? Even worse, echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Oya. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that an argument was just over and Mom had the last word. But she was right there. How the fuck did she get there so quick? Oh, I have an option. The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know the smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I will cut myself on a freshly sharpened axe. Yeah, I see that. And Dora can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Babby is Babby is living there. I'm just gonna say Babby.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bitch. Bye-bye. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on the dim light. She would see there was nothing but cobwebs, dead tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. I liked to hide in the closet and listen to Oil count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaky floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster den. Alright! Let's go to the kitchen. What's up, Mom? How you doing? You look very depressed. Very, very depressed. It's the 7th. It's the 7th of no month. Open the fridge. What's in the fridge? A lot of drugs.
Does that say fentanyl?
Something. That's just a lot of drugs. And what kind of brands are these? Monocol. Grandpa kept ice cream for me and Oya there, but now I could only see meat bits for soup and clumped together Pelemi. I grew the hate for them already. Is that your ice cream? Don't tell me that's your ice cream box. Don't you tell me that's your ice cream box. Alright, bye, Mom! Hope ya... There's a note on the fridge. I can't really read it. And that's a horse. And that looks like a Pokemon character. But... Hope you have fun with your depression. We won't say the D word in front of you. Have fun! Anton? I will whip you if you make a single step out that door. Damn! It's 2020, no more whipping. Whipping. Maybe it's just the settings. There we go. Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall cursed it. Mom rubbed her hand, cleaned up her apron, and went to Oya's room. Okay, yes, I did it. I found what I needed to do. Ta-da! I'm outside now. Oh, I love my house. I opened the front gate and went into the field. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became high as my knees. When I remembered my nightly fears, I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares into ash, but that aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head, blurring and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Oya. The time reached its limit. A one-way trip that ended at the forest piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Ray turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb in a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time my mom and dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost like all of it was a previous life. When they kissed with Oya present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our house, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes, who sometimes visited us in the previous home? The eyes of the balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And somehow, far away, a siren was growing off, trying to warn us of something coming menacing?
Trying to warn us of the coming menace. Yeah.
Menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, the white field, the wind, the whipping up icy dust and belt of powder snow. I sprinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. I looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and configurous needles froze in the ice. Dry, prickly branches intervened, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protected the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow. When I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering skid marks. Semi-dark. Jesus, fuck! Should I take it to the police? The censored officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova, from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. God damn it! He was also always anxious. With a tried look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Volva? I heard a distant shout. Looked like it came from the river. As if the trees were calling out to someone. Volva rustled closer to me. Someone was standing there, behind the trees, hiding. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence regained in a painfully. Ah! I can't fucking read.
Silent rain for people.
Thank you. My muscles were tightly squeezed. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd scream. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Run away or take. Run away or take. Run away or take. I'm gonna take it. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Volva? A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for me. Fuck you! I pulled hard at the branch back and landing my squishy sound. All too heavy. I squeezed it out, thinking it was something that escaped, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the stem. Steam rose from the side. Yeah, looks so. The sound of cracking of the branches invaded the silence. I know I just skipped over like 2 fucking lines by accident. I didn't have to think twice before running away. You better run, boy! Someone was chasing me through the darkness. Breaking pine branches closely in the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of the reasons it gave me strength. Spirit me on. Can I do it? Don't stop. When I felt that the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single man. The nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. 2 giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the air. A hoot. The birds were flying from the twisted hurry, run, don't look back. I felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing because vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushroom trap, just couldn't caught anymore, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boot slipped out the hole, and my soles were on the hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one foot, and from there I ran to my house. The gloomy farcade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings in the wind, that creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In my hurry, I managed to notice the claw marks. I still managed to notice the claw marks. As if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me. Wait, if they were already in front of the yard, and my mom had locked the door, drowning the field, I poured on the door, and it obediently did happen. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. porch planks creaked as my pressures ascended the stairs. That was right. Yeah. My fingers slipped off the lock, and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the room. Jesus fuck! God damn it! Fuck! Can't fucking read. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. I smelled of pine and sweet. My mom peeked out of the kitchen and crashed me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never to slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the floor. The smell was gone. The breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, near 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like the snow spring, and with that last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave away. I propped myself against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. And am I nothing to you? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes skinned like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? Damn. There was someone chasing me, I thought. I strutted as soon as I started explaining myself. Stutter! Jesus! I'm fucking stuttering! I can't fucking spell stutter because I'm fucking stuttering! God! God damn! God damn! God diggity damn! God diggity damn! Tears welled up into my eyes. Mom leaned towards me and sniffed my clothes like a beast searching for a smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked in the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant as she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there at the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me at the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned with her finger and gathered all my remaining bravery to look in the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy shoutless swimming in the snow through icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and no owner, barely reminding of hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. Okay, I can. And what if they were rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from my mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attacked me? What if they attacked Oya? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Damn! Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance. I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and faced my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten? Of course! A darkened, sticky mitten that belonged to a lost boy made a squishy sound in my hands. Seemed like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. Oh. I hurried to present the clue to my mom. Mom, look, it's Voya's mitten. The boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on the tree. I can show where. Mom, look. Ew. The shadows of doubt slowly crept onto Mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but their images slip away. Stop at this moment. Oria will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping in She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At the moment I realized the mitten was actually wet from the snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink it through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried Wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. A golden-colored pill reminiscent of a dead wasp fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and Dad would have given you a good whisper for that. Whipping for that. Jesus Christ. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep that night. And you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave us taste of chlorine. Ew. Maybe it wasn't Volva's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Oizawa. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Jesus Christ. Either the pill had an immediate effect or overexcited brain didn't like fear inside anymore. Oh God. Hello. I can't fucking speak. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny
indifference
along with it. I can't. Antine, you're done. See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she was sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had that exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Heaved. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become distorted. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different. Dimmer, yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor, or I was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror, like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Jafar and muted voices died down. I walked past Oya's bedroom and slipped into my own. The forest didn't look as grim during the day. Entangled tree branches in the distance and snowy field between our house and the forest brought sleepiness into my eyes. But sometimes I would catch myself looking in that window at the icy treetops instead of doing my homework. One of the drawers was empty. It had the mitten in there. This simple attraction drained the last bit of strength from me. I got achievement. I sat on the bed. Only then I noticed there was something behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whatever it was due to medication, I took out the stress. I underwent. The room began to confront as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The room's corners bent and undulated, I think. The only thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visor, just like a servant of sorts. Oya? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dried lips. Yeah, Oya, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness, but not a human being. I reached towards the curtains. Badum, badum, beat my heart, controlled by the medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second I wanted to return to the bed, slide down and watch the person behind the curtains, knowing full well they were looking back at me. Their looking would blinking wait for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled up opened the curtains. Jeez, I can't fucking speak! Gotcha! I knew it was you from the beginning. And blindingly brought halo lit up above Oya's head with a setting sun as the background. Jeez, guys, I'm so sorry I can't fucking speak today. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad used to say she was shining with happiness. As I but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day, and the sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a child, woven from light. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad and tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Oya ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, "You stole something and hid it there. Are you a thief? But don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything." A clear image came to my mind, the mitten hanging from the tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind black trees. Oya could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then show me. Swear that you won't tell anyone? Then I'll show you. Oya wore a plotting smile. I swear on Mom's heart. In the wath she heard in one of the movies, but about the pioneers we watched. Don't say things like that. Oya nodded and made a gesture with her hand. locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Oya leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now you do understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander in the forest, right? He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The police are going house to house, showing his photo to everybody. Oya traversed the room with care and preceded her tiny palms against the window. And where are they going to? Houses and not forests? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. Yeah, right, flashed in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold and whispered of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later, for me? I changed the topic, as if trying to get Oya as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy myself. A lot of stuff, like Field of Wonders. Sounds cool, right? Oya wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredible adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense. An owl wouldn't be able to lift a human. But you know that. I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out like my overextended brain. Stay away from the forest. How should I put it? It's cursed or something. Like in a fairy tale. No, not like that. More like in a spooky tape mom and dad hiding from us. Oya shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you. No, I was hurrying back home so Mom wouldn't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile, it was easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and her small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom wouldn't even let me go outside. It's like a princess in a tower, can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died from boredom. And you have me and your cartoons and Mom and Dad. We'll be good at each other. Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. You know what I wish for my next birthday? I wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could play together, like we used to. Yeah, and if you could make them as small as bugs, we could place them in a little box. Oya giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Oh my god. Fugitive wore over my desire to watch my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of horrendous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to. Come on! It's so boring alone when Mom is away busy. We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of your tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? You haven't seen Peter Pan, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? And so much happens after all that. Let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know, let's play hide and seek. No, Oya. Then draw me a dino. Oya, please. Draw it! Draw it! Will you leave me alone already? I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken back. I never screamed at my little sister like that. Leia stared back at me in shock. Her lips started trembling and pursued her to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Oya from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her and put my hands on her soft head. Let's go. Watch Peter Pan. Boo, you'll fall asleep again. I smiled I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full Triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops. Well, close enough. Leia rubbed her eyes with a sleeve of her pajama, and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Wanna bet I won't spill it? The tape is somewhere. It might in the nightstand. Look for it. Leia disappeared into the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Turn on. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left clicking to the button of the front panel. The tube horn of the familiar stared dancing in the backseat. I almost reached out to turn on the receiver and noise calling back. It was a dark, tangled forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture splits the screen in half. Something creepy, rambling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, the screen was again overshadowed. Did I catch it? Some rogue signal? Local TV stations only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Should I maybe tinker with the antenna? What if I catch the signal again? On the other hand, Leia had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do it all. Search! I shifted through the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. I found the tape I needed thanks to the shabby spine. I can see it. I think that's it. I got the black rectangle from its box. Neverland! Another achievement. The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. The rustle was lulling me to sleep. God damn it! I can't speak. I'm sorry. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images whirled in my head. Me and Oya flying above the forest, trembling in the south clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed that the clouds underneath us, bearing the bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slurred among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us and Oya. Have you started without me? You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of uncondensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. Mom and Dad are arguing again. They're going through the rough times. Rough times are lame. Put on the screen. Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow in the dresser. Oya was entertained by the cartoonish dog, Nana. Maybe Mom and Dad will buy us a dog too. Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in Neverland, and a cat, and a parrot. Oya smeared a silence of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Have you lost all your baby teeth? Obviously. Oya frowned deep in thought. Peter Pan has baby teeth. What if they won't let you to his land with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the present. And why would Dad forge documents? Oya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. Mom and they didn't before. You'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Oya got worried and touched her ears. I smiled to myself. My sister was silent now. She just devoured bread watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there, in the land where no one ever ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. I felt like I was dreaming, with my eyes still open. Then my sister screamed, pulled me back to reality. Tony, shut the curtains, fast! Why? No one was watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. Close. I did my best not to look outside towards the treetops, toward the tangle of forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a vessel effect from shadows of branches snapping in the snow. Tony, Mom thinks I've made the owl up. And Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You do believe me, right? That it comes every night, and I swiftly grabbed Oya's hand and looked at her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination, but I didn't really have those qualities. Yes, I believe you, alright? I just don't want to nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come tell me if anything happens. And don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed. It's like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad say. I'll get tired of watching and fly away. It was madness, but after everything that happened recently, it was more and more included to be Oya's owl existed. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids after their parents were tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from the crocodile, and Captain Pan was heading to the London on guided sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Oya's eyelids had dropped. She started snoring lightly, rest her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Oya's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when my mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day of school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should be asleep already. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Teased for being sleepy? Adults think everything's so simple. As if sleep would endure, my classmates would like me. I covered myself with the blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming to do invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just part of growing up, and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Someone ethereal entity wandered the field. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how it felt in slumber. Thank you for completing episode 1 of the Tinny Bunny. Hey! Did you enjoy it? Yes, I did! Alright, you're working on the next one. That's great. Ow, my fucking ears! God damn it! Wow, that was definitely longer than I thought it was going to be, but that was really, really good. Wow. I can't wait for the next chapters. That looks so good. I can't wait to see if they include the school scenes or whatever. That actually looks really cool. I didn't even notice Hayden moved. Alrighty then. Anyways, I really hope you guys liked this video. That was really awesome. I really loved it. I hope you guys did too. I know there's a longer video, but if you did watch it all, tell me in the comments, do you want to see this game again when the next chapter comes out? I know there's a lot of games that coming out with part 3s and part 4s coming up, and a bunch of FNAFs and stuff like that. So trust me, I'll be playing all those, but when they come out. And right now, I just did this, so if you want me to do it again, the next chapter, let me know in the comments. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace! And goodbye!